Finally, now that we have the introduction out of the way, I can go back to being old, unserious me. Before we continue though, you can call me Mr. Mysterious. Okay, good. So without further ado, let's get into it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Big move. No consultation. No team meeting. Just boom. Heaven and earth. Now imagine you're Adam. You open your eyes and boom, you're naked in a garden surrounded by animals you've never seen in your life. Lion walks by. Adam.
Is that a pet? Or should I run?
God's like,
Name it.
Adam.
Lion?
God.
Cool.
But this wasn't randomness. It wasn't just art. It was design, spoken into being. Let there be light wasn't a poetic suggestion. It was a command. And light obeyed faster than your Wi-Fi loads Instagram. And on the seventh day, God rested. You know why? Because creating galaxies, dolphins, mosquitoes, and your emotional damage is exhausting. Mosquito, though? Really, Lord? Was that part of the plan or a holy typo? But here's the part we miss. The Bible doesn't try to explain where God came from. It just says, in the beginning, God. No origin story, no long introduction. Because real things don't need validation. They just are. You ever wonder why the Bible opens with God and not a debate? Because back then, they didn't argue his existence. They just lived like he was there. Because what is the point of arguing anyways? It only leads to more arguments and potential conflict. What other proof of God do you need other than existence itself? But now we argue, tweet, podcast, about topics we ourselves don't believe. Maybe we lost the echo. This isn't about religion. This is about reality. That before time ticked, before science spoke, before labels like Christian, Muslim, or atheist, there was something, someone, God, not in a building, not in a book, but real, present, breathing stars into space, and still whispering to you when you're alone and your chest is heavy. But don't worry, we're not going to preach. This ain't Sunday school. We're just going to talk, laugh, think, and maybe even cry, but manly tears. So let's rewind time, not to judge it, but to trace it, not to fear God, but to find him where you never thought to look. So let's get this straight. God didn't just exist in the Bible. He was busy doing side quests. Moses is out there tending sheep, minding his business. Then, boom, a bush is on fire but not burning. Moses goes, "Let me just check this out." And God's like, "Yo, take off your sandals. Holy ground." Imagine trying to explain that to your wife at night. "Babe, I saw fire but no smoke. And now I'm leading a whole nation." She's like, "You what?" And then came Jesus Christ. Not glowing, not floating, just vibing, eating fish, calling tax collectors like, "Hey bro, follow me." And the man left his job. No pension, not even a 2 weeks notice. Just gone. This isn't mythology. This is a pattern. God stepping into our stories. Not just watching, not just judging. Walking. With Abraham. With Moses. With fishermen. With a woman at a well who'd had 5 men and a broken past. It is not about the stories. The Bible is not a storybook. It is a manual, a human manual. A guide, if you may, to show you the only one constant theme in life, and that is your source. The source of all creation. The God of the Bible didn't just preach. He showed up, not always as thunder, but as presence. Maybe he's showing up for you too, but you're looking for fire, a magic show, a scene, but he's whispering in peace. Scientists are wild. They'll look at the vastness of the universe, 93 billion light years across, galaxies colliding, stars birthing, and say, "Yup, it all started with a tiny speck that exploded." I mean, sure, I get the Big Bang, but who lit the fuse, fam? What if the Big Bang was just the echo of, "Let there be light"? What if gravity is just the memory of his voice holding things together? What if every formula is a fingerprint? Einstein said,
God does not play dice with the universe.
Translation: this wasn't random. This was jazz, with order. A score too precise to be luck. You've got 37 trillion cells. each with DNA, a code longer than all the Harry Potter books combined, copied and folded perfectly in every single one. And yet, you still forget your ATM PIN. Can you imagine? Science doesn't disprove God. It describes what he made. The laws of physics are like roads. But who built the roads? Who said, "This apple? It will always fall down, not up"? Why does water boil at 100 degrees Celsius and not 134.7 degrees Celsius? Why does the universe obey anything at all? So next time someone tells you, "I believe in science, not God," smile, because little do they know that science is just the map, not the explorer. Science can explain a lot, but sometimes it just goes, "Oh, we don't know yet. Stay tuned." I mean, science never really created anything, did it? It only discovered what was already existing. Take near-death experiences, for example. Thousands of people, brain flatlining, yet they come back describing the same thing. A tunnel, a light, a voice. Now, some say it's just chemicals in the brain. Fair, but explain the guy who floated out of his body, described what was on the roof of the hospital, and he was right. Are you trying to tell me serotonin carried him upstairs? Or how about this? If the Earth was just 1% closer to the sun, we'd all be fried rice. 1% farther? We're ice cubes. If the oxygen level is too high, we burn. Too low, we faint. This ain't random. It's like the universe was fine-tuned by someone with OCD. Even your heart has an electrical signal that begins to beat before your brain is fully formed. So who pressed start? Do you ever wonder why sometimes even atheists cry to worship songs? Why people say they see angels in hospital beds? Why your phone can locate you with GPS, but you still feel lost? Some things don't need proof. They need presence. And the more science digs, the more it bumps into something ancient. Not a theory, not a formula, but someone, a presence that quietly keeps calling to you. Have you ever had those small moments? Like when you just missed entering that bus that later had an accident, or when light is restored the second you say, "Let there be light. Please, oh God. I beg you." And then boom, there's light. Oh, but no, that's just coincidence, right? Or maybe, just maybe, God is peeking through the curtain of your day. He shows up in voice notes, in mom's early morning prayers, in that one stranger who paid your bus fare when you forgot your wallet, or the way a random Instagram post hits you like a sermon. God speaks in ways we ignore, through street preachers with cracked sandals, through cab drivers who randomly start giving you advice when all you wanted was silent mode. But somehow, what he said was exactly what you needed to get through the day. You think it's random? You think the fact you're alive, after all the burgers, pizza, heartbreak, Sapa and street madness, is just vibes? No, my friend. It's mercy, and it's personalized. There's a kind of love that hides in the ordinary, in the smell of morning tea, in your grandmother's hum, even in your breath. Yeah, breath. Do you ever thank God for inhaling? No. Fine then, let's just hope you don't catch a cold. Maybe then you'll know it's a blessing. Look closely, not with your eyes, but with your heart. God is not waiting for you in heaven. He's been walking beside you in slippers. And you didn't even know. If you're enjoying the video so far, please do the channel a favor and make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button. It really helps share these truths with more people. History is full of dust and ego, kings, crowns, wars. But between the lines of every power struggle, there's always a whisper. Take Pharaoh, for example. All the pyramids, the wealth, and the power. But he couldn't stop locusts and frogs. Babylon thought it was untouchable. Rome thought it was eternal. Even Hitler thought he could rewrite destiny. But truth doesn't go extinct. And God can never go on exile. Even during the time of missionary movements, there were warriors of different cultures who knelt to pray before battle. Mothers who hid missionaries in their huts. Slaves who sang code and hymns to escape chains. History books may call them rebels, but they were prophets in disguise. You think God exists only in stained glass windows? He's been in fire, in blood, and in dirt. When men wrote stories of power, He wrote people into prophecy. Some say history is written by the victors, but I say it's rewritten by the victorious. Bro, even the calendar we use is split in half by the birth of Jesus Christ. BC? Before Christ. AD? After diapers. Sorry, after death I mean. Behind every revolution, every awakening, every inexplicable survival, there's a hand, sacred, steady, and still writing the story. And to top it all off, I'll share my own experience with you. How my awareness was awakened to the divine. It started last year, my final semester. No, I wasn't fasting in a mountain. Neither was I floating in visions. I was tired. Tired of school. Tired of people. Tired of me. I couldn't even finish a single decade of the rosary. And if you've ever been there, where prayer feels like lifting cement blocks, then you know that kind of exhaustion. And as if that wasn't enough, I also had my own foolishness to deal with, messing around with habits that made me hate myself, which I'm even too ashamed to mention. Falling for a girl who, let's just say, had a whole Olympics of options, and somehow I was running in her emotional marathon with no medal. And I waited, helped her, gave her more than I should admit. And if there was an award for Free Boyfriend of the Year, I'd have won. My life was falling apart. Even my parents got called to the university for reports of misconduct. My department wrote me off. And my friends? Most vanished, except one. Shout out to Malaga. A real one. So I left the noise, the shame, the people, and went to that one quiet place in school. And I prayed. 7 days. Me, my rosary, and my brokenness. Listen closely, please. I'm not bragging or trying to be superstitious. But those prayers, they changed the battlefield. By the 7th day, I wasn't the victim anymore. I was the storm. Everything shifted. Even when I lost, I somehow won. And I knew it wasn't me. It was him, the one who never left. The one who carried me through my own stupidity, my shame, my heartbreak, my failures, and still called me his. That week, I realized something. People think I'm lucky. They don't know I'm loved. Because prayer isn't magic. It's oxygen. And God has been realer than my pain, realer than my mistakes, realer than me. And the day I understood that, I didn't just graduate school. I graduated into truth. And he's been waiting for you, too. In addition to all that has been said, God also exists in different religions. They call him Yahweh. They call him Allah. Some call him Krishna. Some just call him light. But what if they've all been pointing at the same horizon? Religion is humanity's way of trying to paint the sky. Different brushes, but the same sun. Of course, humans argue about it. Your God is different from my God. And God, he's probably in heaven going, fam, it's still me. Wait, why do Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and Hindus all have prayer beads? Did they all shop from the same spiritual market? And it's not just beads. Almost every faith says, love your neighbor, forgive, pray, fast. Even ancient African traditions taught reverence for the Creator and care for community. It's either humanity has the worst case of copy and paste, or maybe there's one author behind every draft. Different paths, same mountain, and at the top, not religion, not doctrine, just the one who's been whispering through every language, every ritual, every generation. I am. And if you're still mad about which way is best, relax. God's not in heaven comparing denominations like Spotify playlists. Rather, he's trying to gift humanity with the most expensive and priceless treasure, that being the truth about their existence. When the Quran says he is closer to you than your jugular vein, when the Torah says, I am that I am, when the Gita speaks of the eternal self, and when Jesus Christ says before Abraham was, I am. Listen closely. It's not contradiction. It's harmony, hidden in translation. One source, many names, and he's closer than all of them combined. Same voice that's been calling humanity home since the dawn of time.